We're going to connect a lot of dots in this episode, and it will be unsettling. I'm hoping all of you are all set for this Ripple, and XRP is preparing for global supremacy. I am aware. I know it sounds corny, but listen up, people. You just cannot dispute the facts that I am going to provide to you. Whether you agree with it or not, it is happening. Or whether we're going to cover 2 clips and some of you guys are going to have a major awakening. Michael Barr, as well as a Ripple employee who has been employed there for 6 years, Mr. Pat, but more on that in a moment. Do you recall Oliver Sovia? He said something. Everyone is involved in this. Everything is well coordinated. 3 days ago, stating that they had been quiet in the U.S. for the previous 3 years, but that they would be making major announcements in 2024. He concluded his tweet with the words, "Join us." On February 7th, they have an event scheduled. And there are a few businesses that I want you all to keep an eye on for isnt and Plaid. I'll tie everything together in today's episode. I find it astounding that people don't realize how this will become. Well, let's see what we're going to cover. When the Federal Reserve organized the Quicker Payment Task in 2015, it required a 320-member group made up of various industry players to find and evaluate alternate methods for introducing secure and instantaneous payment capabilities in the U.S. And guess what? This may be known by 99% of you guys, but 1% of you might not. Ripple was chosen to join the Task Force Steering Committee and the Federal Reserve Speedier Payment Task Force. This is where things start to get interesting. This is part 1 of the first PDF, which was published in 2017, which is 2 years after they joined. They mentioned Ripple in this PDF a few times, but they started releasing the second portion because it was the last one. Pay attention to this section. Examine the suggestions. Render is one of several companies listed. And before delving deeper into the video, just realize how far Ripple has progressed. It looked like we were going to win. Opposed to the SEC, and guess there will be a video by Michael Larson and me to support my statement that XRP is the only digital asset with clarity. In 2023, you can probably predict what the B Innovation Hub will be. Include Ripple in their workforce for interoperability, extensions, and cross-border payments. Whoa, it gets even better when we visit the U.S. Faster Payments Council and look at Volante Technologies' roster of advisors. AIA Worldwide is a Ripple partner. Of course, we have Ripple. We'll play a video of him speaking shortly. Watch what he has to say. The Cross River is also involved. However, this has been going on for so long that it defies logic. For example, in this article from 2014, Cross River is listed as one of the first U.S. banks to implement Ripple infrastructure, and in 2023, it is listed as an early adopter of Now. Oh, but wait, not only are Cross River and Ripe collaborating on real-time payments with FedEx today, but at the event on the 7th, isnt, Ripe, and Plaid will be present. Do you see how we're all in this together? Just listen to Pat's words here. VP of Ripple on the Fed right now. According to you, the advantages of initiatives like the Fed or ISO standards today, know how what's the kind of February that the market is delivering? It's been, very overwhelmingly favorable, in my opinion. ISO 2022, for example, enables payments to be made not only domestically but also internationally. This presents a chance to establish standards. And you know what I mean, like, if you think of Webs 1 and 2, you know that sending an email these days is intuitive because you know who you're sending it to in the subject line body and your name, domain, and so on. We are now working on attachments, and as you are aware, payments, blockchain, and digital assets will all become things eventually. It's quite natural, but we're currently working on it, so I guess you have to get to know people who are kind of like you. Understand the ISO standards body, of which Ripple has long been a supporter and involved. The good thing about creating a completely new payment network, like RippleNet, is that those standards are genuinely attainable. The technology itself has some pretty clever features that you can take advantage of to guarantee that risk compliance is met. Vale Park, for example, offers some particularly clever solutions for risk compliance. More connecting, everyone is part of this together. Don't forget to hit the ball that you know. A home run, ladies and gentlemen, but look here, we're going to make sure you hit the ball out of the park there. Isnt is among the initial. The Federal Reserve has authorized the financial technology platform to use its rapid payment infrastructure. In a flash, isnt creates a direct link to the Bank of England and expedites payment services. We were able to connect to the Bank of England and take advantage of the speedier payment service provided by the real-time payment rails. It in just 8 weeks, which is another area where many people need to comprehend how to use this technology. isnt is with the Bank of England, which, as you may recall, published the digital pound, a new form of money for households and businesses, in February of last year. Keep in mind that this went viral because they mentioned Ripple under their joint project to enable private sector innovation, wherein Ripple demonstrated synchronized FX transactions and 2 distinct simulated RTG systems. They even mentioned a 3. Like in this instance. Long after it was created, many people would have a rude awakening, and as you can see, we too have. Please log into the Fed service right now. The most important lesson learned from the Plaid transfer is that Michael Barr made a statement that is so huge that many people don't understand. If he is going to break, the Fed needs XRP regulated. Folks, you can't make this stuff up, they're all in this together. Retail was not intended for XRP. Let's get it straight, Biden was selected to head the Federal Reserve's bank regulator. You guys all know he was a part of Ripple, and he filled it. Michael Barr, back in 2015, we had an enormous roster. That is just incomparable and unrivaled at Ripple, but pay attention. According to what he states here, the Federal Reserve has now made these rails available, representing new means by which payments can stay up to date with today's businesses and consumers. On top of this infrastructure, banks can expand. It's difficult to talk about improving services for businesses and households. Innovations in payments without mentioning as the private and public sectors experiment more with new payment technologies like stablecoins and digital currencies issued by central banks, both domestically and internationally. We need to carefully consider the advantages and disadvantages of various applications of these innovations. The Federal Reserve has a strong interest in ensuring that any stablecoin offering operates within an appropriate federal credential oversight framework, so it does not threaten financial stability or payment system integrity. Stablecoins, as I have said in other remarks, need to be well regulated when an asset is pegged to a government-issued currency. It's a form of private money when that asset is also used as a means of payment and a store of value, and it borrows the trust of the central bank. The regulation of XRP has a purpose. They will require these stablecoins when they are widely used in the real world. Interoperability and a bridge of some kind will be required. The first thing you have to look at is regulation. Is that asset regulated? If financial institutions are going to be leveraging any digital asset, they need currency to get into some of the corridors that they typically can't go into. Can this asset be compatible with several jurisdictions inside different countries or even within their jurisdictions? Many people become perplexed at that point and ask why the price of XRP hasn't increased yet. It's because XRP isn't an asset in any way. XRP was created with small investors in mind. From the standpoint of an institution, its digital asset XRP, as I have stated, is an asset that financial institutions leverage. It was not intended for retail. Hasn't been put into full live production yet, thus it hasn't been utilized yet. We're talking trillions here, therefore, you need to scale the system. At the moment, we might sound like a broken record, but when you look back years from now, anyone seeing this film will think we're foolish for passing up this chance. Require market depth. There is greater liquidity the deeper you go. The more reliable and secure that asset is in comparison to that asset. Ladies, is it really necessary for you to comprehend this? And gents, there's a reason stablecoin regulations are emerging and why XRP is regulated. These coins require regulation to communicate with one another. Having said that, I do value every one of you, and they all deserve rules on level playing fields. Gentlemen, With the idea that cryptocurrency liquidity would someday be able to support stable international payments, we began to create ripples. Enormous sums of money. The purpose of the RippleNet was to allow users to quickly realize the advantages of our fiber-based network and transition to OD when the market is ready. Sufficient, and I believe this is precisely what's taking place with the switch that we're creating. Are you aware that it addresses a genuine issue? And I believe that each token represents my advice. To anyone, comprehend the usefulness if genuine utility and value are being provided to a genuine customer. The token will have value.